Hi, this is my 40th video. Um, First of all, I just want to thank anybody who's been watching my videos. I hope they've been helpful. I hope that um, people find some kind of value out of them. My goal here is just really to tell the story of what's happening to me as a target individual living in New York City, and it's just to hopefully, um, you know, ensure others that are going through the same that they're not going through it by themselves. And as crazy as certain things sounds, that this is happening to others, many others around the world, around this country, and just empowering them and letting them know that they are, um, they're not alone, and that helps. It helps morally in this program when the whole program is meant to make the target individual think that they're not worth anything, make them think they're going crazy, make them see themselves as the worst thing, try to degrade them in every sense. So this is why I'm making those videos. At the same time, it helps me as an individual to express and to have some kind of voice. As you can see, I'm wearing a mask. I'm covering my face, somewhat of a mask, but that's because I understand what when telling my story what it means. Because as a target individual, what's happening to us can be made to look like schizophrenic, and this is why this is done that way. That's why so many people end up going to the psych ward or something when they go tell their story to to the law enforcement, or to doctors, which is one of the tactics. They try to discredit the target individual. They try to make that person go crazy, which is understandable with this kind of torture. And so in this video, this is the 40th video. I just want to talk about what they've been consistently doing to me. So I just a recap of what's happening to me as a target individual. I gave all the typical things that you hear from a target individual. First, I gave the gang stalking, the harassment that's expected. So the gang stalking and harassment is when you go outside, there's people walking next to you, they follow you, follow you, they make sure that they're seen following you. So it's not like so you don't have any doubts that they are following you, or they're there to make basically kind of scare you in a way. But just when you're in a grocery store, they make sure that they make you uncomfortable. Get in your way, but in a way that's obvious. It's not like because initially for me, I'm very non. I don't take things not that serious. So I would if they didn't make themselves known that they're following me or they're making it hard for me, I would have just ignored it. But they do it by the obviously they make it obvious for you to notice that this is done to annoy you, to harass you. So this is the gang stalking, even the community harassment. Wherever I go in the community, they, I don't know if they're really community, because some of them it seems like they've moved in when I moved in, or they're here because I'm here. So it seems like they move around, like they have perps moving next to you, which is the case. So currently I'm in this place where there's a few roommates, and those roommates do their best to make it annoying for you to live here. For example, I currently have my next door roommates. He wakes up around every day, like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, or something like that, and start blasting his like so. It's like it sounds like a radio slash podcast, and it's and you can hear it through the wall. You can hear the podcast, and it's just, and it seems like whatever they're saying in that podcast slash radio is about you or something. It's basically a noise campaign of some sorts. So those I get this kind of like noise campaign harassment from roommates, from neighbors, um, and also I get the dark energy weaponry. That's when they use this some microwave style weapons and blast it on you. Um, and so like I can feel my like vibration, obnoxious vibration, in different part of my body, feet, knees, spinal cord, um, genital area, um, rectum area, very uncomfortable places meant to break you, meant to get you sick. So obviously, I know that I'm having, that'll probably impact my health in some ways. And yeah, so and that's also that that's something very makes it's definitely an uncomfortable, disturbing feeling because you have no idea where it's coming from, but it's happening to you, um, and this is military grade weaponry. And also, lastly, the most I think impactful um, tool they've been using on me is this the V2K and the synthetic telepathy, which they can that this is honestly out of all the palettes of tools they use for torture is definitely the most impactful, although it's not perhaps as physiology physically I'm not it's not as impactful perhaps, but the psychotronic and actually the ability to even control some of your movements, and it's crazy. But so with that, they can implant thoughts, they can control emotions, they can play around with memories, they can uh, create like a stream of thoughts, not coming from you, but they can make you think a certain way. They can it's basically thought control. It's crazy. It's hard to even believe that this kind of weaponry is around. It has been around for a while. And to be honest, if I was not in this program, I would not have believed it. Um, and it's insane. It's happening all around the world, and it's happening to me. And so since this happened to me, started in August 19, 2019. Today is late October 2021. So it's been 2 years and some months since this happened to me. And prior to, and not all of this happened at the same time. I was more aware of the gang stalking a little earlier. I didn't know what it was called. I just knew people were following me, and just acting weird. People were just at work were acting weird. So, something was off wherever I went. There was a group of people, and it became more and more obvious because it became more and more crowded. Um, you know, and less settled. It's meant for me to know that something is off, and wherever I went, it was like that. And then on August 19, that's when the V2K kicked in, which is when everything just went completely. That's when things were you know completely changed. My self thoughts changed. Where I think there was some disturbing implantation of thoughts in my head. Imagine, my thoughts were just everything went so in such a disturbing way, very disturbing. My dream were manipulated into disturbing nightmares, and it was just so much disturbing thing going on in that regard. They were controlling. They start controlling different aspect of my body, specifically different stimulations. Um, uh, Very degrading stimulation, to be honest. And it's something you hear a lot when you hear this testimonies. and I am here to also validate that that's something they do to me too, where they stimulate the private areas whenever they want, and they make it obvious that they control that. They stimulate the way you look at things into terrible way of thinking. It's just so you immediately notice there's a big drastic change of the way you think from the day you get the video. For me, that's how it was. From August 19, 2019, my train of thoughts, my way of thinking, everything just completely got derailed. And there's a drastic shift of way of thinking. And there's disturbing things that happen and everything. I was hoping that maybe it was, I was something mental was happening. I wish it was that. I really do wish that I could just go somewhere and get some kind of medication, and that was the issue. But unfortunately, it's not that. I'm saying, but this is some. I'm just a target individual, and they made it known that this is because this communication with this weapon, this military grade weapon that interacts with your brain. I don't know if it's via computer interaction to brain or these other devices, but you end up interacting with external things, external people, and so you can hear. Some people can somehow you can almost feel like the neighbors that um, maybe live in basement can interact to you directly with this weapon. You can hear voice, but you can also feel your thought being changed and manipulated. So this is such a sophisticated weapon. You think that this is sci-fi, but obviously it's not. Um, it's real. Unfortunately, it's being applied in the most disgusting way. As I said before, I do believe this is for research purposes. I think they're trying to pull as much data, get more data, and the more people are targeted, the better this weapon is getting. And so that's why I'm thinking is the cause. In regard of why I'm on here, for me, in some target individuals, it came from nowhere. They didn't see it coming. I can just track it to one place. My old employer. I hear that a lot from other target individuals. The employer I used to work for was an employer that was, big donors for certain politicians, national wise, to the point where there was also this employer is renowned in the area and even in the country for their connections to the government, and this and so when I was working there, definitely step on some tools that would put me here now, and to me it's just for some of the target individuals it seems like it's more of a convenience purpose, like they live they move next to somebody, or they can't they somebody that's within this program that accidentally not accidentally but was in the near area, and they got picked like that. That's very being at the wrong place at the wrong time. But for me, it's just I, I was in the wrong place in regard of my employer was probably not the place I should have been working there, because after working there and while I was working there, that's when things started. Um, that's when um, this thing started, and it started from out of state before coming to here in New York. But and then and now that I think back, I think that's why, um, that's why so much things were going wrong when I was in the other states, and I came here, got away from like this toxic thing that was happening, thinking it's just like toxic, from family member, friends, and all along it was just I was in the program, and everybody was playing their parts. So, in this video too, I just want to talk about what they do. So, they create. I keep mentioning this persona they create. For me, it's just this person. It consists of creating this false persona, and the persona is input some nasty, disturbing ways of thinking. It's so disgusting, so disturbing. Honestly, initially, he almost broke me. He almost, it just almost completely broke me, because I could not see things the same way. I could not think the same way. Things were so disturbing. Um, I mean, when I mean disturbing, is it's just a pure torture. You hear, if you get a chance to look at and read the No Touch Torture of from Robert Duncan. I think he goes into like 10 step or 12 steps of like different torture of no touch torture. So me, if you get a chance to go through it, I'll go through the all of it. I get, obviously isolation, um, and also the number six. I don't want to say here, but this number six in this torture tactic, which is the most disgusting, and they do that to disturb me, and they do a lot of degrading stimulations. But on top of that, they in this campaign to try to make me accept this false persona, and they try to nitpick this technology has the capability to, obviously, it's so advanced, to go within memories, adjust memories, make you think of a memory in a different way, add perceptions. They can do so much to memories. They try to pick things you've done as a child and then exaggerate things. There's so much. This technology is so advanced in regard of what it can do, and how it interacts with the brain, and how it can implant memories, or it can extract memories or change memories. And but anyhow, with this capability, they're trying to design, and this is something you hear with the target individual. So it seems like there's a template. It seems like it's the same template with with all target individuals, where they try to make them portray themselves as something they're not, and they are using all kind of psyops, obviously externally, but also with this weapon that interacts with your brain. And um, for me, they always do some disgusting things, try to create this false persona, this false profile of me. And I always make videos when I notice something that happens and that's worth making a video about, and to tell the story. So yesterday, I like to be on YouTube and watch random videos about random things. In the case of yesterday, I was watching a video about a about the history of a certain country, my native country, and it's about what was happening in the country at the time. The all the conflicts that were happening in my native country, which is very, it's based, it's what was happening, and an interesting video. But this is not what I'm making the video about. But so when you're on YouTube, sometimes you scroll down to look at the recommended videos, right, to see what the videos they can recommend. So as I scroll down, all of a sudden there's one very bizarre, somewhat disturbing recommendation, and I don't I won't understand how they can also control, um how would they control my recommended videos. But it's a little bit too much of a coincidence with the type of person that they're trying to portray me as. But or the nasty things they make me visualize. But there was a recommended video about how high schooler from my native country were, I did not click on the video, because one, I know what they try to portray me as. But so this video, and what was on the well, I forgot the icon of the video. It was the it was about high school girls in that native country of mine, uh, doing some lewd things, and the icon, the image on the video was like two young teenage girl, high school girls, in the uniform, and in a very lewd, um, sexual position, which is shocking. My country, it was shocking for me in two ways because when I scroll down, first of all, they do stimulation for me with me. That's so disturbing. The position these kids were in, like the way they were taking their picture, was very um, also disturbing because they're so young. And first of all, why would they be on YouTube portraying themselves in that way? It was disgusting. Um, and they were dressed in like uniform and in a look very like school uniform and very lewd position. And I scroll down and it's like, first of all, why is this video under that recommendation? It has nothing to do with the video I'm watching. So I don't know if this is a coincidence or somehow they manage the videos that which I believe they do. They're capable of controlling what can be recommended as a video for me, because this whole program also is meant to control everything and predict everything and your surrounding. It's disturbing, but that was such a disturbing thing to see as a recommendation. Although the video itself is probably talking about, I didn't click on it because if I watch that, already seeing that image, they can do so much disturbing things about it. They can make me imagine some even worse, because it was already a little disturbing to look at it, to be honest. And I don't even understand how come this video could be put on YouTube like that, because these kids were in a very it was so disturbing. And by right as I'm speaking about it, there's things that's degrading, things that are happening to me, as they always do. You just have to find some strength in and not fall for it and not lose your mind. But and so first I wonder, why is this video even recommended, because it has nothing to do with the video I'm watching. Two, it's always within that the persona they want me to fall for. So this always, I've said this that kind of persona where I want, in their persona is like I'm into like the younger, you know girls or something. That But it's so disturbing. It's I know it's just more of a way to break me. I have no doubt that they really know who I am. Matter of fact, they know me very well, the real me, not what persona that this is. And they're trying to twist. It's like basically trying to change me. But this is also meant to break me, to annoy me, to frustrate me, to uh, to make me try to make me angry. And as I'm speaking about this, they have repetition. The V2K. So the V2K is when they can like you can hear voices. You can, and that's why this is meant to look like schizophrenia, because with this weapon they can, beside controlling, creating your thoughts and manipulating your thoughts, they can, you can also hear the voice, where it seems like it's like I think they call it chatterbox, or chatterbox, according to Robin Dawkins' book, where you can nonstop people talking and and saying very repetitive things. And so, as I speak, they tend to say things that are meant to annoy me. But anyhow, so I'm looking at these videos, like I wonder, why is this video even showing in this? And first of all, this is disturbing to see that, uh, because there's two kids in high school in very lewd position. You can almost see their on underwears, and they're kids, and it's already disturbing. But this video is talking. It seems like it's talking about how like high school girls are becoming more immoral. How morality has kind of gone away from society, and these kids are now doing this. Um, which, first of all, as where my native country used to be a very conservative country, and I was even shocked that they could this was happening in my native country, where you know not too long ago, even wearing a skirt was like crazy, and now these kids are doing these disturbing things. It was shocking itself, but I didn't even click on it. I know they try to portray me as something I'm not, and they stimulate me, and it becomes a disturbing things. And as you know, um, dream manipulations as something they do, and what they do with that is like they implant the most disturbing stuff. And so um, I knew that I know that they've controlled so much of my of what I see in regard of like recommended videos and whatnot, and so I know that they will try to vilify you. If in my case they try to vilify me for even like seeing that recommended video, just seeing the recommended video. One, the imagery is very lewd, it's disturbing, um, uh, but it's something that was like in my recommended video. So they try to vilify you and scare you. It's like, hey, you see, that's proof that this profile is true. You know, you're really into that. It's obvious it's not the case. It's obvious that they're just trying to pay me in that light. It's obvious that they want me to be nervous or scared that I even scroll down and see that. Now, with that being said, I'm not none of that. I know that it's meant to it's not me. That's disturbing stuff. I don't want to curse. I try not to curse in my videos, but every once in a while I do. But this is disturbing to even see that. I couldn't even imagine, but but what they do for by me look even seeing that while I'm scrolling down, I'm going through uh, recommended videos on the while I'm watching the video about this historical video about my native country, about the conflicts. So going to see trying to going through the recommended videos, and um I see that disturbing thing, and they like to call me robber, like R. Kelly, and that's it's comical thing. I've heard others say where they also call them Michael Jackson and Michael, and things like that, and it's this template is such a reapplied, recycled template where they use the same false persona and plant that persona in people, and try to break them and try to change them as somebody else. And so I just wanted to make a video about it, how they can even control like some well, I'm like the recommended video on YouTube, which have nothing to do with anything you've seen. The only thing in common this video had with any video I've watched ever, and I wonder why it's I, if the only thing in common would be um, that the video is about the native country where I'm from. That's about it. But I understand why this video came out. Beside the fact that this is about the country, my native country, I don't understand why it would even be in the recommended videos. Only unless it was put there for purpose, and it was put there for purpose to disturb me, because I can look at something, and even by looking at it, it becomes something in my head so disturbing, disgusting. That video, that the imagery of the video alone, that little icon video, when I didn't even click on it, but it was already lewd. It was like two high school kids, uh, two high school girl, in uniform in a like very lewd, like sexual position, not as not sexual position, but sexual, yeah, posing in a sexual way, and you almost could see like underwear is just but the video was talking about how like there's no moral anymore, immorality in my native country for these high school kids. um and I didn't click it. I didn't even click on it because I was like, oh wow, they already this this gonna be I'm gonna be they're gonna do this disturbing things, degrading things to me. um and I mean, although the video itself, I will wonder why would this be happening to my country, where to my native country, where like, where it used to be very conservative, and now this little kids, posing like that on YouTube or on social media, wherever that I didn't even click on it because I know they're trying to create this false narrative and try to make it seem like this is something I go for. It is comical. I should not be laughing, but it is somewhat comical because it's far fetched. It's not. It's I'm not a perfect person. I'm not this innocent saint. But trust me, that's far from what I would want in any way, especially sexually. It's disturbing as hell. It's so disgusting. Even to even degrade it's even degrading to even think in that way. But that's been the case since August 19, 2019. They've made me imagine the most disturbing things. I couldn't even tell you on YouTube because it's just so disgusting. It must push me to break, honestly, and they continue to do this false narrative where, they implant a lot of disturbing things, and then some, if I see, first of all, it doesn't even have to be a lewd image of anything. It could be something innocent that turns into very perverse things, and they have the way to do that and play with perceptions. And in this case, the image itself in the icon was already lewd. It was in this recommended random recommendation video that came from nowhere, that has nothing to do with anything with what I ever watched on YouTube, um, ever, and especially not have nothing to do with the video I was watching while I was looking through the recommendations. um, and so you can imagine what they do. You can imagine what they play with in your brain, and how they exaggerate things. They make, they even make it worse, even more grotesque than what I saw. They make me visualize other things. It's so disturbing. The way they can control imagination. This weapon, the ability of control your thoughts, is just so disturbing. And then on top of that, you have perps, and so the perps in your surroundings, even externally, um, they react to the imaginations that have been implanted to you. So it makes you feel almost ashamed for things that aren't obviously you, for thoughts that are implanted in you, for things, even for let's just say for me scrolling down and seeing this recommended video could be something. Um, and it's disturbing. It's disturbing, one, that your own thoughts have to be if even they have to be this completely manipulated into some disgusting thing. Your way of thinking is just completely not you anymore. Change that. um and so also the way they try to set you up in this disturbing profile, seeing these little high school kids in that position, um, in recommended videos that have nothing to do with, you know nothing to do with, even I'm just thinking about other recommended videos that I've noticed, but just I can ignore. But recommended video that have nothing to do with what you've never watched anything like that, but it's a recommended video. But it's always in the same type of persona. It's in the profile they're trying to fit you in. So it seems like there's some kind of control even into, for example, the what's how the algorithm of YouTube, and what they recommend to users to watch, because they seem okay, this user likes to watch this, then this is a video that that person might enjoy watching. And so for me, they have some control of like what is recommended. This is just crazy, but it's disturbing. um as of now, they like to create more exaggerated, and as of now, it's just, it feels like it's far-fetched, and they try to exaggerate this thing that I saw. Is As I mentioned, the video itself, the icon itself is already, um, um, it was already lewd. Now they have to exaggerate and create this false narrative, and as if this is something I want to see. Not that I want, like I want to see for those to see these little kids, whatever. Like that that's something I'll go for. These high school little kids, which is disturbing. If anything, I want to know why this is happening to my, to my home country, and why, a country where I remember places to be very conservative, especially that now kids, high school kids, do things like that, and it's normal. But um, yeah, it's disturbing, and as I'm speaking right now, this the directed energy that's being hit on me, and I can feel like, especially now, they like to hit my stomach area. It seems like my intestine area, and between my intestine and my private area, that area, and my rectum area, that's where they like to hit. And as I speak, it seems like the the torture is even more the torture is even a little more aggressive. In that way, the direct energy weapon is a little more aggressive, because they don't like me to speak out loud, because it puts me back in a rational way of thinking. Because when I don't speak, when I just stay in my room and just dwell on it, that's when they do a lot of the manipulation. That's when they do a lot of the degradations and the seesawing with my brain, and trying to break me. But anyhow, I just want to wrap up this video and say, first of all, don't, you know if you don't fall for that false persona they're trying to implant in you. They'll do anything. There's nothing too low. Truthfully, it's like I have other fears. I have fears that they can, obviously they've hacked my computer, completely hacked my computer. My phone is hacked, and when my computer is so hacked, my personal computer is so hacked, that when I try to move the mouse, you see the little the little arrow is moving the opposite way. It's like I fight my mouse to move it to click on something, because it's being pushed another way. So that's how much control they have it. They control my mouse, and it's just like plainly obvious that they've hacked my computer. Now, there's one thing I've heard and I've read about um, about targeting individuals, and what some of these entities do to frame people is like, and it's very disgusting. I hope that you know I hope it doesn't happen, but it's something that if it happens, I have to prep myself. Where they can where they can put in um, disturbing documents, download documents without you knowing. So you can imagine what they can download. These people have no limits. Obviously, the nasty things they implant in my head, I wouldn't be surprised if they can. There's no limit to them. There's nothing that to shame. They're so shameless. They would put these things in your computer and make and set you up as if like you did that to you. You downloaded those things. It's so disgusting. But that's something I read in Robert Dawkins book, where they have this tactic of like putting a virus in your computer that cannot be seen, unless I guess if unless you're very much unless you're a hacker. But now it can download documents and can import documents onto your computer. And the documents are usually documents that are very lewd, disturbing documents. So you know what I mean. And so I know my computer is hacked, and I know the person that they're trying to put in me. And so I would not be surprised if something like that. I don't want to be paranoid at the same time. I don't want to be, because there's no point to be paranoid. It just adds to the stress, which is useless. But I know it's the capability that they've done, they've used, and they've applied on, and I'm not surprised they would do that. These people have no limits, and disturbing things. Some people call them other things, which I don't. You know, I think I really truly think that some of them in that ranking, in those ranking, are what they've been named as. But just to wrap up everything, guys, just be strong. Be strong. Sorry, and maintain your composure. They're trying to break you in every way, spiritually, emotionally, physically, with the direct energy weaponry, and in every way. Just remember, when you look at yourself, know that you're a much better person, much more honorable and dignified person that they ever be. No matter the status, some of the perps here, they have all level perps. I have perps that are very well established, very sensible members of the community, quote unquote. I have students, young, don't have anything to lose. They just have nothing. Basically, they just they're just basically barely adults, very young, where they haven't even established who they are. They don't even know who they are. I have young professional in late 20s. I have all kind of perps, people that you respect, and obviously there's other perps where they're like maybe the homeless. They're perps. There's people who look a little bit more is scary with the perps, but they're all, to me, they're all the same levels. You know, uh, and so I look at myself in the mirror thinking I'm a much better person than them. I know I'm better. I have more dignity, and not to say that I'm perfect. I'm not a saint. I will never claim to be a saint. But I'm so glad, if anything, that I've never been fooled to be in that side of things, because that's a whole different disturbing thing. I would not be able to live with myself knowing that this is something I do or I have done. As much as they try to reconfigure the way of thinking to feel okay and feel like this is a normal thing, because if everybody does it, that's okay. If there's such a large group doing it, that's okay. That state of mind could have not worked for me for too long. At some point I will reflect that and think, okay, this is uh this is so wrong. It's something there's no way that I will not be reimbursed for what I've done. If I was part of that group, this at some point I would think, that's I'm gonna have something bad's gonna happen to me, or what I've done is so wrong. I've pushed these people to kill themselves. I've pushed these people to to break. I've pushed people to misery. What's gonna happen to me for doing that? And I'm at least, it's weird to say it, because obviously I don't want to be in this position. I don't want to have this disturbing things in my head. I don't want to have this torture going on. But that is better than what they're being in their shoes. I know they feel empowered, controlling a human being, and be able to feel almost like a strong. It can be a toxic, empowering thing. I understand that, but at that cost, no. There's so much baggage that comes with that. I would rather never even be involved in any of it. Like, just be the ignorant person I was prior to August 19, where I didn't know anything. I just rather be a civilian that didn't know that's not know any of that, instead of being a part of some program that torture, manipulates individuals. If some of them are very vulnerable, kids, women, all of it, all of all kind of people, and just make myself think that this is okay. Make myself think that I'm normal. Myself think that I'm this person. In my case, they try to make themselves feel like, make themselves look like they're like some kind of radical feminist or some activist. That was earlier on. They're slowly fading away. This psyops is slowly fading away. Now they're just kind of owning up more to what they are. Um, but with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching my video, and please, you know, please stay strong. Know that justice will be done one way or another. Things this evil, things this wrong, things they have a way to be reimbursed. Um, and I'm not even talking about those people individually, but things can, I do believe, I'm a spiritual person, and I do believe that when you do these kind of things, things come up in your life for doing these things. So know that justice will be done one way or another. And lastly, continue to act dignified. I know you're being tortured, but know that you are a dignified individual. and at least you're not the one in there on the other side doing these terrible things to people. So stay strong and know that justice will be done for what they've done, and do not harm yourself. God bless you.